It's been almost a quarter century since Princess Diana was killed in a tragic car accident in Paris. The Princess of Wales, however, has captivated the world as much in death as she did in life, with royal fans, and conspiracy theorists, still speculating on her final moments all these years later. From her relationship with Dottie Fade and final phone calls to the doctors who tried to save her life and a Catholic priest who guarded her bedside, here's what really happened in Princess Diana's final days. In August of 1997, a year after she finalized her divorce from Prince Charles, Princess Diana remained a fixture on front pages around the world. Warmly nicknamed the People's Princess, despite losing her HRH titles in her divorce, Princess Diana had been enjoying a summer vacation in France while her two children, the Princes William and Harry, spent time with their father and grandmother, the Queen, in Balmoral, Scotland. Diana's final days, however, were far from relaxing. The princess was chased by paparazzi angling for a picture of her with her new boyfriend Dottie Fade. Still, after facing Tory backlash for her landmines campaign, Princess Diana decided to extend her vacation, a move that would ultimately lead to her untimely death. Princess Diana died on August 31, 1997 in Paris, France. Diana was 36 years old when she died. Her children, Prince William and Prince Harry, were 15 and 12. On the morning of August 31, 1997, Princess Diana was fatally injured after the car she was driving and crashed in the Pont d'Alma underpass in Paris. After receiving extensive medical care on site, Diana was rushed to Poitiers-Salpêtrière Hospital. She suffered 2 cardiac arrests and major internal bleeding before she was pronounced dead at 4 a.m. Princess Diana suffered very serious internal bleeding after her car crash in addition to multiple cardiac arrests. Not only did the princess suffer a significant tear in her pericardium, the membrane that protects the heart, Diana also had a tear in her upper, left pulmonary vein at the point of contact with the heart. After suturing the lesions, Diana's doctors tried to resuscitate her with electric paddles, adrenaline and cardiac massage, but ultimately could not get her heart beating again. Princess Diana was in a Mercedes S280 with her driver Henri Paul, her boyfriend, Dottie Fade, son of Herod's billionaire Mohammed Al Fade, and Fade's bodyguard, Trevor Rees Jones at the time of her tragic crash. Paul lost control of the vehicle and smashed into a concrete pillar in the tunnel at about 65 miles per hour, twice the tunnel's 31 miles per hour speed limit. Dottie and Paul died on impact. Diana later died in a French hospital. The only person to survive the crash was Rees Jones. The group was being pursued by paparazzi moments before the crash. Paul, who was later found to have a blood alcohol level well above the legal limit and was driving at a high speed, had been trying to evade photographers. Diana and the other passengers in the car were also reportedly not wearing seatbelts. Seconds after the accident, an off-duty doctor named Frederick Maylis pulled over to help the victims of the crash. He called emergency services and tried to care for Diana as best he could, totally unaware that she was the Princess of Wales. Princess Diana had been dating Dottie Fade for several weeks when she died. Fade, 42, was a film producer and son of Egyptian-born billionaire Mohammed Al Fade. Fade formed a production company that helped finance 6 Hollywood films, including Hook, starring Dustin Hoffman, The Scarlet Letter, starring Demi Moore, and Chariots of Fire, which won Academy Award for Best Picture in 1981. A notorious playboy, Fade was married to model Suzanne Gregard for 8 months in 1986 and proposed once again to model Kelly Fisher in 1997. Despite his engagement, Fade also began dating Princess Diana in July of that year. Fisher sued Fade for breach of contract after he left her for Diana, but the suit was dropped after his death. There is a lot of mystery surrounding the late royal's final few hours, but it's believed Princess Diana uttered her last words after her boyfriend Dottie Fade was removed from the car. "Oh my God, what's happened?" Diana reportedly exclaimed from inside the vehicle. The princess was then taken out of the Mercedes S280 as well, but her heart stopped beating when she was moved from a wooden board to a mattress meant to stop her from moving. Before the crash, Diana spoke to her son Prince William, her butler Paul Burrell and her good friend Susie Cassim. She also called her trusted confidant and the Mail's royal correspondent Richard Kay on her mobile. She was a little agitated, Kay later recalled of the conversation. Her plans had gone awry. She was anxious to get home to see her boys and there had been those scenes in the afternoon with the paparazzi racing after them when they'd arrived in Paris. She felt very trapped by the photographers. Kay continued, "Her last words to me were something like, 'You've been working hard. Get a good night's sleep, unplug your phone. He'll speak to you tomorrow and we'll meet on Monday.'" Princess Diana was living at Kensington Palace when she died, but spent part of her last summer traveling in France and along the Mediterranean. In the hours following Princess Diana's death, her body remained unmoved in the French hospital at the royal family's request. Father Yves Marie, a French Catholic priest, stood guard over Diana's body, although no security guards stopped other visitors, including high-ranking French officials such as the president and his wife, from going in and out of the princess's hospital room to pay their respects. Some of Princess Diana's closest friends, family and staff flew to Paris to retrieve her body and bring her home to Britain. Prince Charles boarded a flight from Aberdeen to Paris along with his two former sisters-in-law, while Diana's butler, Paul Burrell, and her driver, minder, Colin Butt, managed to get last-minute plane tickets to France. Once Burrell and Butt arrived, they secured Diana's room, requested air conditioning units be brought in to preserve her body, since the royal family requested she not be sent to the morgue, and organized clothing and embalming for the princess. A picture of Diana's two sons found in her purse and rosary beads given to her by Mother Teresa were placed in her hands. The royal cortege arrived shortly afterwards and Diana's body was brought aboard a royal aircraft draped in the royal standard to be brought home to England. On the morning of September 6, 1997, Britain came to a standstill as Princess Diana's coffin was carried through London to Westminster Abbey by the Welsh Guards. Diana's brother Earl Spencer, Prince William, Prince Harry, Prince Charles and Prince Philip all walked side by side behind the coffin. Inside the Abbey, family, friends, acquaintances and celebrities took their seats to watch Diana's loved ones say their goodbyes. Charles Spencer read the eulogy for his sister, and Elton John who wrote lyrics to his song Candle in the Wind to honor his friend, England's Rose. Following the funeral, Diana's coffin was driven to her childhood home in Althorpe as fans lined the streets to applaud and throw flowers. She was carried to her final resting spot, an island on her family's property, by the Princess of Wales Royal Regiment, who reportedly all had tears in their eyes. Reverend Victor Malin, the Spencer family, Prince Charles, Prince William, Prince Harry, Paul Burrell and Colin Tebbit all said their goodbyes during the burial service before going back into the house for tea. In 2017, Jean-François Moussa, the original owner of the Mercedes S280 Diana was driving in on the night of her tragic crash, made headlines when he announced he wanted to put the car wreckage in an American museum, stating that the car was still legally his although he hadn't seen it in nearly 20 years. In fact, the whereabouts of the vehicle is somewhat of a mystery. After being stored somewhere in France following the accident, the Mercedes was shipped to London in 2005 for forensic tests during an inquest into Diana's death. 4 years ago, a source told the Mirror that Princes William and Harry wanted the vehicle disposed of discreetly, even though legally the car had to be returned to its owner. It's currently unclear if the vehicle was ever sent back to Moussa in France, who was really responsible for Princess Diana's death. 7 Conspiracy Theories. Everything you need to know about Princess Diana's funeral.